Greetings all, I'm Coma. You're watching Coma Astrophotography. Tonight we're going after the Lagoon Nebula. Now the Lagoon Nebula don't look much like a lagoon to me. It looks more like a big old flower or something. But they didn't pay me to name them. So it's going to be a multi-night exercise. Take us 2 or 3 nights at least to get the Lagoon Nebula. So we'll get to do another frame X where I can show you from night to night how to frame up the same target the same way. So the Lagoon Nebula.
Okay, here we are pointed at the North Celestial Pole over here. We're going to go after the Lagoon Nebula tonight. So I've called the, let's see, alright, the Lagoon Nebula. You see it's here, so what we need to do is go from North Celestial Pole over to a star that's close to the Lagoon Nebula. We'll pick Antares here. So we'll go from the North Celestial Pole over to Antares. We'll do a star alignment. We'll sync our mount with Antares so it knows where it's at in the sky. We'll also do our focus on Antares. And then from there, it's just a short hop over to the Lagoon Nebula where we'll start to get some images on that. I was looking at framing the Lagoon Nebula up, and it looks like this star right here, if we center on that star, we're going to get most of the Lagoon Nebula in our field of view here. And if you look down here, there's a star cluster down here. Maybe we can see that in the bottom left corner. So for our framing, we're going to try to get on this star right here if we can pick it out when our first image starts to come in. Okay, here we are in our park position, pointed basically towards the North Celestial Pole. You can see Polaris up here. So I'm going to call up Point Craft. We're going to do this the easy way this time. So in the Go To++ window, we'll call up Antares. Go to Stars. Antares, there it is. Alright, Antares, there in the Go To++ window. So one click and off it's going to go. So there goes our mount. Slewing around to Antares just like we told it to go. It's a long ways over there, so it's going to take it a few seconds here. Alright, the mount is stopped. It's going to take a 5-second exposure to see how close it got to Antares.
Exposure started.
Looking for Antares to come up right here in the center.
Exposure finished.
Oh, it's pretty close. It's not quite the center, but it's pretty close. But Go To++ is going to fix it. It just did a quick adjustment. It's going to take another picture, and I expect it's going to come up right here in the center this time. I told it to get within 50 pixels.
Exposure finished.
Yeah, there it is.
Go To++ finished.
We're on Antares, so I'm just going to make sure it's in this window here. There it is. We'll do a solve.
Image solved.
Synchronize the mount. And we'll do a show, look in Stellarium, and there it is on Antares, just like we thought it was. Alright, so now it's time to focus. I'm going to go go to live view here, and on the camera I'm going to switch it down to 1 second. With live view I like to go to 1 second. Now I'm going to go put the Batonov mask on so we can do our focus. So I'll be right back with you as soon as I get the Batonov mask on. Okay, the Batonov mask is on. Let's call up the magnifier here. See how close we are to being focused. And not surprisingly, we are focused. I was using the telescope earlier, so I had focused it, and this scope holds its focus throughout the night. So there we are. We're focused. Sorry it was that easy, but it is what it is. So now I'm going to take the Batonov mask back off. Okay, Batonov mask is off. So now we're going to hop on over to the Lagoon Nebula. We'll go out of live view, and we'll go back to a 5-second exposure for the plate solving. And notice we are on our luminance filter, which is good. So under the Go To++, we'll go ahead and call up the Lagoon Nebula to the deep sky objects. Let's see. There it is, the Lagoon Nebula. That's called up in the Go To++ window. So just one click, Go To++, and off it goes. Just a short hop over to the Lagoon Nebula.
Exposure finished. Go to finished.
Okay, so here's a prominent feature that we can see, this dark line running through the middle here, and then the star cluster over here, and then we've got these line of stars here. So let's look on the picture and see if we can find it. So here's the line that we talked about, the stars over here. Here's our cluster, and we wanted to get on this star. So on the other side of that black line, right, that large star in the clusters where we said we wanted to get on. So let's solve this image. So we have a reference point for our aim function.
Image solved.
We'll sync them out. Okay, I'm not sure which one, but we'll try to put it on this star right here, and I think that's going to be pretty close. So we'll use the aim function. We're going to put it right there on top of that star. Go To++. It just did a quick adjustment to get over there.
Exposure started. Exposure finished. Go to finished.
Okay, now so you see we're on the left-hand side of that dark line across from these stars. We're in one of those big stars down at the bottom of the cluster, and if we go over here and look, that looks pretty close to where we said we wanted to be. We might be on this star, but we're in this area here. That's close enough for where we wanted to get. So now we just need to get guiding going. That looks like a good star right there. I'm going to go ahead and pick that for our guide star. It's going to start the calibration. I'll let it calibrate, and I will be back with you when the calibration is done. Okay, back with you. The calibration is finished. The guiding has started. So let's look at our imaging plan. Pretty simple plan. We're doing 10-minute exposures tonight. We won't get through this in one night, but this will turn into a multi-night project. That's okay. Some quick math tells me if I want to get 2 hours on HA, 2 on O3, 2 on sulfur, and I'm shooting 10-minute exposures, I need to get 12 exposures of each. So 12 exposures, 10 minutes, 120 minutes, so that'll be 2 hours. Total of 6 hours, which that's what I like to shoot for a standard nebula, and then build on that. So here's the plan we're going to go with for our Lagoon Nebula. We'll get that started now.
Filter change. Exposure started.
Now, one thing I'll show you, when we did the Go To++ for the Lagoon Nebula, if you remember, let me put the crosshairs up here. It took us to some place over here. So that's what's in the database right now. But that's not where we want to be framed. We want to be framed over here. Now, thinking ahead until tomorrow night, we're going to want to be able to go right back to this same spot here. So what we'll do to enable that is we're going to put the lagoon in our custom section of PointCraft. So let's go over to PointCraft. Open up the objects. Go to custom. We'll add a new in here. This is going to be the Lagoon Nebula. And I'll just put framing so we'll know that that's distinct from the one that's in the normal database. So I built a new custom object called the Lagoon Nebula. I'll tell it OK. This is the image that we took. This is where we want to be, where we were framed at. This is where we want to be framed at. So what I'm going to do is solve this image right here. Let's see. M8 Lagoon Nebula. And when we solve it, right here in the RA and
Image
deck,
solved.
it's going to give us the coordinates for this point right here, the center of our image. So now all we have to do is take the RA and deck points and then plug them into our custom object. We'll do that now. So here's the RA, copy, objects, custom, here, Lagoon Nebula, edit. Paste that right into there. Now we'll go get the declination. Copy that, paste it right into the declination. We'll save this, tell it OK, and now we've got the Lagoon Nebula in here for tomorrow night and for subsequent nights with the exact framing that we want, that's different than the framing that the Go2++ gives you. So here it is. We'll be set for future nights to go back to the same spot now. Okay, looks like we're still in the right place, so I'm ready to go ahead and start this plan going.
Filter change. Exposure started.
There it goes. So after all that, I don't see any more clouds coming, so I hope we're into that clear weather that they were talking about that was supposed to get here at 4 o'clock. So maybe got here 40 minutes early. Some quick math will tell me that that'll be 4 extra exposures we can get. So anyhow, I will be back with you when the first hydrogen alpha 10-minute exposure comes in. Okay, we're back. Here's our first 10-minute exposure, our first HA 10-minute exposure. So this one's good. I'm happy with this. I like what I see. First HA image. And I'll be back later when we get more to look at. Okay, here's the first 03 frame on the Lagoon Nebula. First 10-minute 03 frame right here. Alright, we're going to let it run. Okay, we're back on night 2 of the Lagoon Nebula. I told you that I would show you how to do a framing exercise, so we make sure that we get back framed up exactly like we were on night 1 here on night 2. On the way over to the Eagle Nebula, I stopped by Spica to do a mount synchronization, teach the mount where it's at. I also did my focus here on Spica. The scope was still in focus from last night. I didn't need to change anything. I checked the guide scope focus. That's all good. So now we're going to hop on over to the Lagoon Nebula, and I'll show you how we do that using our custom built object in PointCraft. So we'll call up PointCraft. We're going to use the Go2++ function. So we go to Objects here, go to Custom, and then here's the Lagoon Nebula framing that we did last night. Remember, we took the center of the object and put in the new RA and declination coordinates because they're different than the default that PointCraft gives you for Lagoon Nebula. So we tell it OK. So the center of our frame from last night is right there in the coordinates for Go2++. So one click, and the mount is off and going, headed right over to the Lagoon Nebula.
Exposure started.
All right, that's where it stopped.
Exposure finished.
Took an exposure. It wasn't quite there. It's going to make an adjustment.
Go to ++ finished.
And we're there. So if you remember, we got on this star right here in the middle of the star cluster on the other side of this little dark area. I'll call up an image from last night to let you look at that. Okay, here's our framing from last night. You can see that we're on that star just on this opposite side of that dark spot from the center of the galaxy, right in the edge of that star cluster. So now if we go back to where the camera's pointing at right now.
Exposure started. Exposure finished.
Okay, there it is, right next to that star net. Now you might think that's not even close. Well, it's just 180 degrees backwards. It's upside down. because we're actually on the other side of the meridian from where we started last night. So this is the same star, and this is really the same place. And you notice we're on the opposite side of that dark line from the center. So right now we're in exactly the same spot that we were last night. So now we just get the guiding going and start our imaging plan. Okay, calibration is done. Guiding has commenced. So there's our imaging plan ready to go. So we'll go ahead and get it started.
Filter change.
And
Exposure
hopefully
started.
we'll see you at the end.